Thanks again for sticking with me. Video 7, here we are. I've tried to keep this in 10-minute increments, so for people who have a pretty heavy schedule, you don't have to sit there for like 40 forevers to get the whole story. You can just have it in bits and pieces. So, a lot came crashing down. I mean, I had even made some purchases of things that I had intended to use for the year. Some various makeup and jewelry and costuming, and stop fidgeting. That, I had intended to be presenting as part of my outfits and my presentation. I thought, well, it's just sitting around collecting dust. And my dance partner, Sir Edmund, he hasn't seen any performances hardly this year either. He saw a couple of performances, and that was it. But he was supposed to be on the road with me for a great percentage of those 60 plus performances that I had lined up for this season. And now it's the end of the season, so it's all over, and there's nothing now. And so now it's the busiest time of year for me, which is a whole nother story in its own right. But yeah, Sir Edmund is just curled up over there. We've still managed to fit in practice sessions. That was some of the practice that I did maintain, and that helped keep my spirits up, at least to some extent, having him around and watching videos with him and having some fun in that sense. But yeah, there was a lot of life that I just felt like I was missing out on. And Alpha had his own stresses because he, as I said in one of the earlier videos, he was using equipment and programs that he was completely unfamiliar with, and I couldn't help him because I was unfamiliar with it too. And I thought, wow, how behind the times are we? But we still managed to get through, and big thank you to the technicians who worked with us to help get us through that. I realized that the company hired these guys to help, but I still want to send out a big thank you to all technicians for the help that you've provided, because you've been essential in keeping all of this running and keeping us all still in contact with each other, and businesses can still function even though maybe they can't have employees on site yet. So bravo, good on you. But one day, I caught myself on several occasions sitting on the edge of the couch, just sitting. It's a great couch, don't get me wrong. Those of you who follow my channel, it's not just any couch. I'm sitting here looking at, I don't want to show it to you because my house is still a wreck. I mean, 7 months trying to catch up. It's like, yeah, no. It's not going to get done overnight. No, that takes time. And now being the busiest time of year for me because it's the off season means that it's going to be even more difficult to try to fit this into my schedule. But I will do it. If I have to, binge clean, it will happen. But those of you who haven't watched the channel before, it's a small gazebo. The couch itself is shaped like a giant seed pod, or an old clay urn that you might have found, say, at an archaeological dig, and just the face of it is open. And it's meant to be outdoor furniture. It's supposed to be a lounge that you can lie down on or sit up in, and it's got a lot of shade in it. And it's just a wicker weave all around. It's really nice. I love it. And so, yeah, I mean, I've never had a bed as opulent as my couch, so I'm going, hey, I'm quite happy to sleep on my couch. But that said, I still found myself just sitting. As opulent as it was, I still found myself just sitting like, what? Why? What is the purpose? Because I felt so superfluous. Because I wasn't performing. I wasn't even practicing. And I felt like my reason for existence just evaporated completely. And I was just falling apart at the seams, so I lost the plot. I just gave up. the the cooking that I had managed to schedule, thankfully saw me through for like the next um, few weeks because the freezer was full of stuff that I could just chuck into the oven and just walk away after I'd set the timer and temperature. But yeah, it I couldn't do it. I couldn't put laundry down the laundry chute even, um, because I knew that Alpha would end up sick. I couldn't deal with even the most remedial of tasks. And then one day I found myself in this funk, and I was like, no, just no. I can't live like this. I can't do this. This is not me. This might have been me before I started making all these serious changes to my life, but this isn't me now. I refuse to feel this way. This is not healthy. So I started getting my head back in the game, and one of the things that I did was I hopped online, as I typically do when I want to change my mindset and really get into whatever it is I want to do. And I was trying to use the same music that I normally use to clean the house. That was failing. I was trying to use the same motivational videos to clean the house because, you know, normally you go and you watch these motivational cleaning videos and there's this chick there and she's cleaning this house and it looks horrible before, and then after, you know, it's like, oh, wow, that's spotless. That's what's up. And it makes most people feel like they should go out and clean their house, you know, do these things with them. And they even have these clean with me videos, which I really would love to do one of these days. But I was looking at these and it wasn't having the same impact. I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, for 7 months, I wasn't able to clean. So all the good habits that I had developed completely washed away, right? Plus, I was fighting depression. So, I then started looking at some of the images that I normally pull up through Google that help motivate me into cleaning. Again, nothing. And then that's when I stumbled across this one little poster. And, well, I get it out of order. The poster came after a couple of particular incidentals when I was looking. I kept finding these, hey, you should keep your house motivational posters, and they weren't working either. I was like, yeah, that's going to make me feel really good that, like, my house is a disease pit. Thanks for telling me that in not so many words. That's great, guys. And then, and you know the ones I'm talking about, because if you're watching this video, you've totally been there. we all know which ones those are. But there were also the ones that are like, a clean house is a happy house. I'm like, are you serious? Does anybody actually believe that now? I don't know, that sounds so 1950s. Maybe that's just me. And then I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna do something completely different. I'm gonna see what happens when I type in demotivational cleaning posters. And that's when the magic happened. I stumbled across this collection of images that were articles, or pieces of articles from places like Better Homes and Gardens. And these women who contributed to the magazine and some of the shows that are attached to the magazine, and some famous women who were, you know, admitting that, hey, for example, I can easily just lie around on a couch all day as opposed to vacuuming underneath it. It's like, yeah, I feel that. I totally understand that. There was another one. Excuse me, my nose is running. There was another one that I found quite humorous, which was, yeah, if it's not bothering anybody else, and it's not in the way, why should it bother you? I'm thinking, hey, I understand that. And there was a whole collection of these kinds of posters, and I thought, you know what? If these women who are supposed to be idolized as the way we're supposed to live and keep our houses are saying things like this, I shouldn't feel so bad about the way I feel in regards to house cleaning. House cleaning being a chore, yeah, okay, that's a real thing. And even they have to deal with this, made obvious by some of the statements that I found. So, stick with me. This was video 7. Number 8 is on the way. It's a much happier video than number 7 has been.